Now at 6, the latest on a fire at the Allen County, Kansas landfill. Plus,
some Carthage hotels are pretty much booked out for Marian Days. I'm Fernanda Silva, and I'll tell you how they're getting ready for the event.
and some area kids take the next step into their lives.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Downtown Miami, Oklahoma comes alive with music, food trucks, vendors, games, and a car and bike show. Celebration is just getting started. It continues through the day tomorrow. We're live outside the historic Coleman Theater in Miami for the 3rd annual Route 66 Heritage Festival. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. We're going to have more on the festival here a little bit later, but first, some of the day's top stories. At least one firefighter is down due to the heat as crews battled a fire at the Allen County, Kansas landfill at southeast of La Harpe. Allen County Sheriff Ryan Murphy tells us crews were there from multiple fire departments, including La Harpe and Iola. The fire was extinguished shortly before 4:30 this afternoon. Officials on the scene said they're unsure just what caused the fire at this time. A Southwest Missouri man is behind bars accused of attempting to kidnap a woman. The 18-year-old victim told officers while she was at work in Monette, a man in a vehicle with a small child in it attempted to kidnap her. The woman says she fled to safety, immediately called police. Authorities have arrested 34-year-old Aaron Michael Fryer from Pierce City. He's now charged with second-degree assault, third-degree kidnapping, and second-degree endangerment of the welfare of a child. A judge has sentenced a former Missouri State Highway patrolman found guilty of taking thousands of dollars in cash bribes, sentenced that patrolman to 15 months in prison. Larry Conrad will also perform 100 hours of community service and pay a $20,000 fine. Last year, the former motor vehicle inspector reported accepting about $14,000 in bribes over at least 6 months before being caught. Conrad pleaded guilty to charges in April. Once again, we are in downtown Miami, Oklahoma for the Route 66 Heritage Festival. The weather not too bad out here, Doug. I know it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
And it is breezy. But we're in the shade, and we're well hydrated.
That is true. Once you get into the sun, it really heats up pretty good. And it's going to stay hot as we go through the weekend. We have heat advisories and excessive heat warnings kind of in the magenta color on the Kansas and Missouri side, but not a whole bunch going on. We have a few little clouds that have rotated through, 1 or 2 isolated little thunderstorms that have popped up in our northern counties. But besides that, most of us look pretty good and pretty calm as we go through the evening hours, just those hit and miss storms in our northern counties. Look at our temps. We're still sitting upper 90s, 100 in Stockton. You factor in the humidity, it feels even hotter, about 100 to about 102 degrees. And as we go through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 90s into the 80s. What about the weekend? We're going to be looking at that. I hate to say it, heat gets a little worse over the next week.
You hate to say it, but you did it anyway.
I know it.
Thanks for nothing, Doug. You've seen a few minutes. Thanks. It's not just here. There are big events going on elsewhere. Hotels in Carthage, for example, are pretty much booked up for Marian Days, which is coming up. Managers say they expect to be sold out by the beginning of that Vietnamese American Catholic celebration. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has that story.
About 2 months ago, Pubakta bought a new investment, a hotel in Carthage, a half a mile from where Marian Days takes place. Expecting to be booked out for the event, he's putting money and time into the place to make sure his guests will enjoy their stay.
It's too much work because of the some room has not been rented for a while, so we have to deep cleaning the rooms and all.
With only a few days to go into the event, he feels like he's running against the clock.
On here, this is my first project. We've been starting the renovations, and hopefully it's all before we can get done the paint and everything before the Marian Days.
Carthage is not the only hotel in the city making final preparations. Quality Inn's manager Lacey Brown is already experienced when it comes to Marian Days.
So during the daytime, they're going to be coming here to take showers and getting food and things like that. So it's just going to be constant traffic.
This hotel usually has a 60% occupancy rate, but during Marian Days, they're expecting to be completely sold out. Because of the high demand of the event, no employees are getting days off.
We have extra towels, extra linen kind of set aside that we're going to bring out that day to kind of make it easier in laundry, because every department's just going to be much busier than normal.
Rita comes to Carthage every Marian Day for the last 40 years. Living in Kansas City, he drives the week before and saves a spot for his tent. He says the people who choose to stay in hotels are usually traveling long distances.
They come from too far away from here, so they don't have the equipment. Look like they have to bring everything, the tent or thing. I think all hotel around here until down to the Highland, maybe something like that, it be gone. No more room, I guess.
In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
Now, according to organizers, 40,000 people attended Marian Days last year. That was the first time that event had been held since the pandemic started. This year's festival starts next Thursday on the grounds of the Congregation of the Mother Co-Redemptrix. Today concludes the week-long summer camp hosted by Parsons Paint Project. Church youth groups from all around the nation came together to beautify Parsons, Kansas by repainting houses and building accessible ramps for the elderly, the low income, and the disabled. Campers have only 1 week to complete those projects.
Oh, it benefits me a lot. It makes it a lot easier. My steps, I love my steps because they made them smaller because I had like 12-inch steps, 2 big steps to get down. So that's a big relief there.
This is the Parsons Paint Project's 6th year of operation, but they hope to have many more. Some local students today walked across the stage to transition into the next phase of their lives. Freeman Health System held their second graduation for their Learning Center. 10 students are in this year's graduating class. Their Learning Center was built to care for Freeman and Ozark Center employees, children from infants to 5 years old during the workday. Freeman officials said the Learning Center is the first stepping stone to the rest of their lives. We pulled aside some of the kids to ask them how they feel about graduating.
Happy. Excited. It made me feel special.
10 graduates start their first day of kindergarten in the fall. The Learning Center offers students ways to grow intellectually, emotionally, and socially. Our congratulations to them. That is a look at today's top stories, some of them anyway. Coming up, we are live. We're going to talk with one of the organizers of the Route 66 Heritage Festival right here in Miami, Oklahoma. Welcome back again. We are live in downtown Miami, Oklahoma for the Route 66 Heritage Festival. And we're joined by Bob Poole. He's with Visit Miami. You helped put this amazing event together. It's known for a lot of things. It's going to be barbecue that celebrates the tribes, celebrates Route 66. But more than anything, this is a music festival.
Yes,
and you have all kinds of musical acts coming up on the stage just behind us.
Tonight we got country to start. The guys that won our Battle of the Bands a few years ago, Backwood Country. And then we have they're tied with, they're from Jay. Then we have the Websters. A couple of them are from Miami. Everybody has a tie to Miami. Then the last big band, this is the first time we have had heavy metal on Main Street here in Miami. We're really looking forward to it. You can tell by the crowd, they've got a following. There's people already showing up ready to get out and get after it. So it's going to be really good.
Yeah, and as you say, they all have a tie to the area, which is a big draw, I think, for the crowd, but also for the bands. They want to perform for those hometown.
Yeah, tomorrow night we got Keith Anderson. We got Thompson Square, Keeper Thompson's from Miami, Keith Anderson's from Miami. And then the six, I can't remember their name, but they're from Grove and Commerce.
Okay,
Yeah,
but it's an eclectic group. You mentioned a metal band tonight. You have country music band. The same crowd stick around for all of these acts, you think?
Yeah, I think they're going to enjoy it because it's starting to cool down. The streets are starting to fill up. We got all the barbecue. We got all these vendors. We got all these food trucks. So come on down. It's free.
It's free. The bands are warming up right now.
Oh, yeah, they're going to kick it.
Oh, you bet.
I'm looking forward to the national anthem here in a minute. This girl can really sing. She's great.
Very good.
Used to sing on Broadway. She can sing.
There we go.
Yeah.
Right on cue.
All right, buddy.
Bob Poole, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast live from the Route 66 Heritage Fest in Miami, Oklahoma.
Well, of course, we're outside downtown Miami. It is hot. In fact, I got on Facebook earlier today and I asked people to tell me different ways to say it's hot. I got about 700 comments, but sadly, most of these I can't say on air. But yeah, scorching hot. for us today. I think that was Ty Parks right there. Temperatures right around 100 degrees for us today. It looks pretty good. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, mostly clear skies at this point in time. Heat advisory remains in effect as we go through Saturday, and then excessive heat warning once we get into southeastern Kansas and then west central parts of Missouri. Look at these temps: 98 in Nevada, 100 in Stockton, 98 Parsons, Neosho at 93. It's actually a little bit hotter in our northern counties. We can go outside. 7th and Rangeline currently sitting at 97. Feels like 100 degrees. The heat index, the way your brain thinks it feels to your skin: 102 in Nevada, 104 in Neodesha, 102 in Veneta, 101 in Anderson. And as we go through the evening hours, we'll slide back through the 90s, 80s, eventually down to about 78, 79 degrees. We do have a couple little thunderstorms that have popped up in our northern counties over toward Fort Scott, Nevada. Very small, but at least producing a few drops over the next couple hours, and then they'll fizzle apart. But besides that, there's not a whole bunch going on. We have some thunderstorms north central parts of Kansas. Should not make it here. We do have slight chances for a random thunderstorm tonight, tomorrow, and then also on Sunday. But the main story is we are dominated by this big dome of high pressure, and the closer it gets to us, the hotter we get and the drier we get. So let's look through the next couple days. You can see that big area of high pressure. It slowly moves toward us as we get into Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, and that means the heat is going to increase a bit as we go through next week. And then once this high starts to break down late next week, then we'll start to get a little bit of relief and it'll start to feel a little bit better. But over the next week, we're gonna have to deal with the extreme heat. All right, let's go through time. Next 48 hours by morning, about 78, 79 degrees. As we go through the day, I think most of us lower 90s by noon. And then once we get into the afternoon, very similar to what we're seeing today. High temps right around 100 and a very slight chance for an isolated thunderstorm. Tomorrow night, pretty quiet. Overnight lows right around 80 degrees. And then as we go into Sunday, again, a carbon copy, very slight chance for a thunderstorm. High temperature right around 100 degrees. Also, our heat indices are going to be up there. It's going to feel like 104, 105, 106 as we go into Saturday afternoon. On Sunday, it's going to feel like 104, 105, 106. So very consistent as we go through the next few days. 100 actual temperature tomorrow on Sunday. Isolated thunderstorm. Heat indices about 105. If you are going to be outside, make sure you drink plenty of water. An alert day tomorrow because we do have those heat advisories and excessive heat warning. And then look at our temps as we go into next week. They start stepping up. 102 Monday, 104 by the time we get into Wednesday and Thursday. But as you mentioned, we're in the shade, and as long as you're not in direct sunlight with the breeze, it's tolerable.
And it's rocking out here.
Yeah.
You can hear that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not too bad, and come out, it's mostly shaded across the street right now.
Good time.
Thanks, Doug. Hey, don't forget, you can be the first to know about today's weather with KOAM Skywatch weather app. You get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone, and like this festival, it's absolutely free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store, also the Google Play Store, the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Brock joins us now at the Route 66 Festival.
Yeah, you know, MLB trade deadline is looming. Also, we'll get a chance to talk to some coaches from the MIAA Media Day that took place earlier this week.
Coming up.
Well, we are officially 5 weeks away from kickoff of the MIAA football season. Now, Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State coaches had a lot to say about what they expect from their teams when they spoke at MIAA Media Day earlier this week.
2022 had a lot of close losses, and I'm excited to see if we've made the jump that we need to so that those close losses turn into close wins and we can flip this thing around.
The Missouri Southern Lions are 8-15 overall since Atiba Bradley took over the program as head coach in 2021. The Lions are scheduled to open their season at home on August 31st, going against one of the top teams in the MIAA, the Northwest Missouri State Bearcats.
I think it's a big-time matchup because it's an opportunity to play football. There's no taking away the accolades and the credit that they get. They're in a great program, but we know that if we win that game, there's still a lot of season left. If we lose that game, there's still a lot of season left. And so our guys aren't necessarily focused to play one opponent, but just excited for the opportunity to compete.
The Pittsburgh State Gorillas kick off their season the same night as Missouri Southern. The Gorillas will be at home hosting the Washburn Ichabods as Pitt State head coach Brian Wright enters his 4th season. He's delighted with the group that the Gorillas will be bringing back this fall.
You're certainly going to try to build off our strengths, and for us on offense, like Trey said, it really starts up front for us, and we're excited about the group that's back. I'm excited about the motivation that they have and the improvement that they would like to make in that group. But I thought those guys had an outstanding spring practice period, and I know our strength coach, Matt Summers, speaks so highly of how those guys are working in the weight room this summer. So that excites me.
And both Missouri Southern and Pittsburgh State are preparing for their fall practices as we approach just over a month away before the MIAA football season kicks off. And now the MLB trade deadline looms on August 1st, approaching fast. Fans from both the Royals and Cardinals can see some of their favorite players traded to other teams in the next coming days. The Cardinals began Game 1 of the long homestand last night, the 10-3 loss to the Chicago Cubs. Tonight, the Redbirds will try to get even with their foes from the Windy City. The Cardinals versus the Cubs tonight will start 7:15 p.m. We'll have a final score update for you from that game tonight at 10. Royals at home tonight against the Twins. Could possibly be their final homestand for players like Salvador Perez or even Zach Greinke. We shall see. This game is set to begin at 7 p.m. tonight. We'll have a final score update for you once again tonight at 10. Well, if you haven't noticed, a familiar face is joining the Big 12 Conference once again. On Thursday night, the University of Colorado Board of Regents unanimously approved a resolution allowing the University of Colorado to join the Big 12 Conference beginning in the 2024 academic year. Colorado left the conference to the Pac-12 in 2011. So, with that being said, welcome back, Buffaloes. And Dow, they always say, the grass isn't greener on the other side. And, well, that was certainly the case for the Colorado Buffaloes.
I guess so. We're sharing a mic with each other and a band, and we'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. We're going to have more on the efforts of volunteers, young people, to help beautify Parsons, Kansas. Plus, the city of Fort Scott celebrates the grand opening of a new splash pad and sensory park. And with this intense heat sticking around, we're going to have some tips on how to spot dehydration. Those stories, a lot more, coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. Don't become dehydrated if you come out here to Miami, Oklahoma, but you will get to celebrate the heritage of our four-state area, including our Native American heritage. Also listen to some great music, and the weather tonight, Doug, it's going to be tolerable.
Yeah, we're going to drop back through the 90s as we go through the evening hours, but again, near 100 tomorrow, near 100 on Sunday. This heat sticks around for about the next week.
And a final sports note.
And we're going to chat with the Webb City Little League team later tonight about what they're going to expect when they hit the road to the Midwest Regionals in Indianapolis next week.
Mention quickly, this is the last newscast for producer Zach Dobbs on the 6 o'clock news as he goes on to pursue other opportunities. He's enjoying some cool pickle lemonade over there. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you right back here or someplace at 10. Let's make it a great evening.